Ooh. So you have your coursework 1 results and you'll have your end semester 1 results next week. So there's one assignment left, coursework 2, but that will be in maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, so then it's 10% for that also. Final exam is 70%. Yeah. Your coursework 2 will be about statistics. So the graphs we're making this week, you will have to make some of them for your assignment as well. Okay. So we're going to look at another graph today, or another concept anyway. Okay, so what we're going to have a look at now is cumulative frequency. Who could that be? Yes?
Sorry, Stephen. I'm sorry to
You're doing some maths, is it?
Can I just...
You're going to sit down. There's space here for you. No problem. Yeah. What you need?
I'm just trying to use the new projector.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is it MDLI or AB or you know?
Are you upstairs?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a moment.
Sorry, I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. No problem. I don't know what the problem is by listening. I'll have to look. I'll be back. Don't you worry. Okay.
Teacher.
不打了。
多边形。
啊？多边形。
多边形，多边形，多边形。
这他妈什么意思？你们告诉我。
O B 型。
逗逼形。
别学几何。
他又勾你。
因为你不能
我没开起来。
我感觉是累积平时分布。累积平时分布。多边形和应该几何从来不完全一样。
哦，你看它这个。
先让它看一下。
不是多边形。
你寻思的吧？
是弯曲形。来看，来累积平时分布，累积下来。
比如说这个里面进行3个群体。
愿意。
我给的是外国这个圈子，我加了个外国的圈子。
跟你一样。然后这个是平数。
平方有关。
不，9是那个上面的数，然后
我给你的换成
平数是
1法
Y轴。
累积平，这个是累积平。
按毛是不人，我操！本来我是一对概率的，你说我怎么你妈妈你还怎么说？但我还可以有毛一个。
啊，这个是
都是曲线的意思，都是用曲线。
对。
那就用曲线。
我还是拿公式看的。
还是直线。好，气球，气球。
看我气球，气球没有冰冻的，之前也有什么区别？
气球。或者是弯曲。
对，就是多边形，它就是
多边形。
Dennis has trouble with computers. Always. He's not a computer person. Okay, so as I was saying, we're looking at cumulative frequency. Do you remember what frequency is? Yeah, what's frequency? Yeah, it's just counting. How many? Yeah. So does anybody know this word? Cumulative.
you keep adding it.
Yeah, so give me a synonym for cumulative. Huh? A simpler synonym. It's a bit like, I don't know if you know this in English, run-in total. It's a total, but it keeps getting bigger. So I'll give you an example to explain it. So let's say we have, I don't know, data like 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 3, 2, 1. What's wrong? I'm explaining. So, let's have a look at frequencies. So you could have 0, 1, 2, 3, and the frequency. How many zeros? 4, is it? 1s? 4, 2s? 2, and 3s? 1. So that's the frequency. The cumulative frequency is how many that are less than 0, less than 1, less than 2, less than 3, less than 4. Cumulative frequency. So, how many of my x are less than 0? No. How many are less than 1? 4 of them. This one, this one, this one, and this one. How many are less than 2? 8, because it's the 4 we had previously plus an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8. How many are less than 3? It'll be 10, and less than 4? 11. Now the reason I say running total, because you know is 4 plus 4 is 8, and then if I add 2, I get 10, and if I add 1, I get 11. So this is what we mean in English by a running total, that the next total is from the last total plus some extra. So let's have a look at some examples of graphs, but I suppose this is our first example, so you should write this down if you want. What's that? Some kind of chocolate frappuccino? I don't like frappuccinos. What is it though? Is it a mocha frappuccino?
I don't know. Every time I order the wrong thing, so
What did you order this time?
mocha
Mocha
frappuccino.
frappuccino.
How many cups of coffee do you have every day?
Not enough. Okay, you got this? Yes? So we can put these on a graph. So I'll just need to open up the Excel program here. Okay, can I go to the Excel? Yeah. So this is, no. So this is just explaining the word, the concept, cumulative frequency, or CF for short. Do you remember the other type of frequency we had? There was frequency and there was another one we did. Do you remember? No. What if I said relative frequency? Do you remember that? No. Relative frequency is the percentage. Oh yeah, that thing. Remember that now? No, you're making that face that says, I don't remember, I don't know what you're talking about. Relative frequency is the percentage. You change these into percentages. Yes? Do you remember? Are you sure? Okay. Right, let's have a look at an example now. So let's have our data. So let's make this data heights. So you could have people which are less than 140, less than, let's say, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, and 200. So let's say, I don't know, there are 10 people less than 140, this is heights, less than 140 centimeters. Let's say there are, now there are 20 people less than 150. Let's say there are 40 people less than 160. And we'll say there are 60 people less than 170. Then we'll say 70, no, I'll make this one bigger, sorry, 75. Then there are 85 people less than 180. Then there are 90 people less than 190. And maybe there's only one person extra. So we'll say 91 people less than 200. So going from this box to this box, we found only one extra person that we could add in. Somebody who was more than 190 but less than 200. Yes. So this here is a cumulative frequency table. Now notice each of these, they get bigger, of course. But let me just move this over here. Usually what happens in the exam though, well no, we'll talk about that later. Let me just go back. Oh no, I'm frozen. Wait, just give it a second. Just needs a minute. It's tired. Oh no, no. Did anybody write all the numbers down? So like if I close this, I can open up a fresh one. My RAM is full. Yeah. I'll upgrade at the moment it stops working completely. Alright, I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so heights, cumulative frequencies, and down we go. What did I start with? 140 up to 200, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have lots of space. Okay, and then the frequencies, 10, 20, 40. Okay, you have this written down? Well, you can write it down now. You got this table, Tony? No. Good. Now, actually, you're right. In the exam, they usually write the table horizontally, save space. But I have lots of space, so I'll write it vertically. Well, no, actually, in the exam it can be horizontal or vertical. It doesn't matter. Okay, can I go on? So we can put this graph in a table. We can put this table in a graph. So this is our data, and this is our cumulative frequency. So the graph, if I'll put it beside it, okay, now this is frozen. I think I really need to kill this, yeah. Ah, there we go. Right, so we put our graph beside it. Discard. Oh, we're back. Great. Okay. 140? No. 150? No. 150? 140? 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. And then here, 10, 20, 40, 85. Sure, I have them memorized now nearly. Right, so the graph we make is actually a type, it's like a line chart. You put on the x-axis, well, I wonder if anyone actually knows this one. Which goes on the x-axis? Does anyone know? The data, yeah. So you put the height on the x-axis and the cumulative frequency on the y-axis. So let's have a look at that chart. So we wanted that. Right, so title here is Baby's First CF Graph. Well, we can probably my first CF graph. Example 1. And on the x-axis is the height in centimeters. And if you want to be really clear, it's the upper boundary. So you're saying the first height is everybody less than 140. It's the upper boundary. And on the y-axis is the cumulative frequency. So you get a graph like this. So if you look here, the first point was 140 and 10. So you can see here, there's 140 and there's 10. Second point is 150 and 20. And you can see here, there's 150 and there's 20. It's very common in the exam for them to ask you to draw this on graph paper. Graph paper. Very common. So this is our first example. So if you just, before you draw it, let me just explain exactly what the graph represents. If I pick 160, I go up, and what number do I get? 40. So there are 40 people less than 160 centimeters tall. How many people are less than 165 centimeters tall? If you estimate it from the graph. Will we say, 60 people. Yeah. So, was there 165 here? No. But, when you have it in a graph, you can estimate this. Yeah? Okay, can you please try to draw this nicely? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, have you found this? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Can I... there's some people making very serious graphs. Yeah. Now that is a good question. I have to give you some more vocabulary about that. Actually, I'll write it down here. So, when you have the points drawn, you have two choices. You can draw straight lines between them, or you can draw a curve between them. When they want a curve, they say a CF curve. And the one I drew is actually called the cumulative frequency polygon. Now, in the exam, which do you think they usually ask for? Polygon is correct, because it's more exact. You probably did curve in high school. Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Line? Okay, yeah. Do you remember which one you did? Yeah. Can I continue, guys? You'll have to finish that graph later, okay? Right, let's have a look at another example. Oh my goodness, I am getting so tired of Chinese from you, Albert. Okay, let's have a look at another example. So in this example here, I don't give you the cumulative frequency. Instead, I just give you the frequency. And this time, let's make it something like income. And it can be in thousands of euro per year. Thousands of euros per annum, per year. Alright, so... there. So, income, we'll probably want brackets something like how many people earn less than 20,000, and then we'll go up in fives. Sorry, these are thousands, so sorry, this was like 20. So 20,000, 25,000, 30, 35, 40, and then maybe we'll go 45, 50, 55, 60. Then we could, they don't have to be the same unit apart, so we could maybe jump up to 100,000 and then 200,000. So let's say in our data there are 30 people who have this I should write 20 to 24 left. 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49, 50 to 54, 55 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to, let's say, 99, and then 100 to 200. Why not? Yeah. 200. Okay, so let's say we have 30 people that earn between 20 and 24,000 a year, and then we'll have a little bit more in the next one. We'll say 35 people, and then here we'll have 40 people, and then maybe it goes down a bit, 35, 30, 20, 10, 10, 5. Let's say there are 2 people here, and then here is the boss again. I'll put 1 person there. Okay, so write this table down. So what's the name of this type of table? Is this a cumulative frequency table? No, this is just an ordinary frequency table. Okay, so write this table down, please. You have this table? Yep. Nice. Yeah. You got this? Looks like, yeah. Okay, so if you want to make the cumulative frequency table, you need to have 2 things. The cumulative frequency, of course, and the boundaries. So, what is the upper boundary for the first one?
19.5, 20 and 24.5.
Yeah, so which one's the upper boundary?
24.5.
24.5. And for the next one, it'll be 29.5. And then here it'll be 34.5. Right? Yeah, and then the next one, 39.5, 44.5, 49.5, 54.5, 59.5, 69.5, 99.5, and 200.5. You got those out of there? Right. How many people earn less than 24,500? 30. How many people earn less than 29,500? 65. It's going to be the 30 plus the extra 35. So you have 65. How many people earn less than 34,500? 105, and so on. Yeah. How many people were in my data? How many people do I have? 218 total. Yeah? Okay. So when you're ready, we'll make the graph now. You got this? We can make the graph? Marcelo? Yeah. Right, so let's make the graph here. Insert chart. This time, let's make a cumulative frequency curve. Example 2. Cumulative frequency curve. Example 2. And this is income in thousands of euro per year. And the y-axis is cumulative frequency. And this is the graph we get. So I think because the last person's earned so much, it looks a bit weird. Still looks so bad. Looks worse. I think we'll make it a bit more. I guess it'll do. Alright, so here is our graph here. Is there a way I can do full screen? Full screen? Ah, yes, okay. That's a bit better. Right, let's make this maximum size. Great, okay. So this is our cumulative frequency curve, so it's a smooth line, curve between the points. If you can try and draw this one, please. Did you draw this, John Ray? Beautiful. Okay, so in a minute we'll look at what we can do with our graph.
For the graph, do you see you always have like a pointer outside the last one?
Are we talking at the start or the end?
No, the end.
Yeah.
Do you have to, say if we had to draw it, do we just end it at the last point?
Ah, yeah.
At 200?
Yeah.
We don't have to do extra.
No, the program's just doing this, that's all. Okay, let's have a look at some applications of our graph. So we can remember, was it yesterday or the day before, we were doing quartiles, lower quartile, upper quartile and median. And somebody asked me, maybe it was you actually, Remo, what do you do if the data is in a table? Because the way we did it in class was we put them in order from smallest to biggest. So what do you do if they're in a table? So that's exactly what we have today. You have the data in a table. Yes? What's wrong? Are you sure? Yeah. So let me just leave the full screen for a moment. Okay. Let me scroll down. Right, so there are 217 people in this group. When you think about this graph, it has the data in order, because here is everybody less than 50, everybody less than 100, everybody less than 150. So the people are put in order on the x-axis. How many people do you have? 217. What is half of 217? That's 108.5. Yeah. The median is the person in the middle. If you have 200 people, who's the person in the middle? The about 100 mark. If you have 217 people, who's the one in the middle? About 107.5. So around about this person. What you can do with your graph, let me go back to full screen. If you go to, what did I say, 107.5, here is the person who is in the middle. What is his value? If we go across to the graph and go down, about 40, this is the median, it's the middle value. So for the CF curve, for example, let's say there are 300 people here, cumulative frequency. So what's the middle value? The person who is at 150. Let's say here's our graph. So this number here is the median, for example. How could I find the lower quartile? If I have 300 people, where would the lower quartile be?
Between 0 and 150.
Yeah, where exactly?
The median of that.
Yeah, which is what?
75.
So in this example, if you go from 75 down, this number here is Q1. And where would you need to go to get the upper quartile? 225. You can go across and you can go down, and this number here is the upper quartile. So you can use the graph when your data is in a table like this. This is the way to calculate the lower, the median, and the upper. So I want you to use this graph and roughly tell me what the lower, the median, and the upper is. So have a look and write it down. The lower, the median, and the upper. Roughly.
The median?
The middle one. So 217 divided by 2 is where you need to go. 218, sorry. Yeah? What is the median? 109?
There is about 30.
Okay. Right, so if I can just take a calculator for a second. So we said that for the median, it should be 217 divided by 2. So that's 108. So at 108, that's about here. I go across and down. Well, on my graph, it's about 40, roughly. So for me, I'll say for this one, my Q2, my median, is about 40. Okay.
And the example is from the graph or?
From the graph.
Because it might be different from what.
Yep. This is why it's important to draw it accurately, because they want you to be accurate to within, like, I don't know, like only a small error, like maybe 1% error. Right, who's going to be the lower quartile? Which person? At what number? Yeah, but what number person?
75 multiplied by...
The lower, not the upper. You're doing the upper, yeah. 25% of 217. What's 25% of 217? 54.25, about, yeah. So if I go to the 54th person, 54.25, where's that? That's about here. 30,000, about? Why not? We'll say 30,000 about. So the lower quartile is about 30,000. Okay, and Malik, you were saying, how do we get the upper quartile?
75.
Yeah, 75% of 217 is 162.75. 162 is about here, so what would we say for this one? 45? What did you say? 162 is about here, isn't it? 45? No? No, about, what did you say? 45? Yeah. I'd say about 45. So quartile 3 is about 45,000. What is the interquartile range? 15. 45 minus 30. You remember that from yesterday, yeah?
Can you get this from in the Excel?
This is very common in the exam. Section
No,
B.
I think with the program.
With the what?
The software, can you get upper and lower?
With the software? This software won't give me it for the data in a frequency table. If I had it as a list, like last time, it could. I don't think it will be able to do it this way. Yeah. Alright. Are we clear about this? I mean, it's just like a line graph, except you can use it to get the upper, median and lower by going across and down. Yeah? But I think a lot of people do this in middle school. Do people remember doing this one in middle school? No. Do you feel like you did do it but have forgotten it? Is it possible? Possible. Yeah? What do you think? Different countries have different syllabus, so are we thinking maybe not in Brazil? Looks completely unfamiliar. Yeah. The rest of you maybe have seen this before? It's okay though. Do you want another example, or do you think it's okay? So it's a good question in the exam because you get lots of marks for drawing this graph. If you draw the graph neatly on graph paper. And in the exam, they will give you marks for how accurate you are for this graph. So take your time and draw it nicely on your graph paper. Yes? Okay. So what we'll do now is, I'll let you try these for a few minutes and then we'll have the tutorial. Just before you start, I just want to show you that in some of the questions, I gave you the frequency table, and in some of the questions I gave you the cumulative frequency. So for example, in question 1 and 2, what table do you have? Yeah, and 3 and 4, frequency. And 5 and 6, you have to make the table. Remember how we made the table last time? How many boxes should you have? What's the rule? No, how many boxes? How many classes?
Something root.
Something root. What root? Square root. Yes, indeed. Square root of what?
How many data?
Yeah, square root of how many data? Round up. Right? Then what do you do next? The range. Yes? Divided by?
3.
No.
Divided by
How many boxes minus 1.
Plus 1. Plus 1.
I thought I said minus 1 last time.
No, because like it was.
Oh no, wait, I said plus 1, didn't I? Whatever I said last time was right, because we made a beautiful box last time. Was it plus 1 or minus 1? I thought it was minus. I think it was minus 1. Yeah, it looks like it's minus 1. And then this gives you the width, and where do you start? A half a width to the left of the smallest value. Yeah? Okay. Try these for... You don't look happy with that. Have you got your notes?
Yeah, it was 4, so we get minus. We
It
divide
was
by
3. Yeah. Okay, try these for a few minutes. I'll close this. Can I close this? Yeah. You are really looking for trouble. Was that you speaking Chinese? Get working, please.